You didn't even hit go live. Hang on, hang on just 1 second. You'll have to talk to them while it's booting up. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. You know how moms are when they call your over 30-year-old child. Well, it's probably worse for you because sometimes it's probably worse for you because sometimes it is an emergency. So my mom just gets upset. But yeah, okay. Well, I had stuff to talk about. You had stuff to talk about. Who do you want to go first? What? Okay. Uh-huh. We have what? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. You might. I think I caught most of what you said, but you might want to come in and out of the voice chat. You're breaking up a lot. I don't know if you're breaking up in the stream or not, but you're breaking up for me. I think it's about the same, but I guess let's just go with it. Because I could hear most of what you were saying in any case, so. How far away are you from your mic? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. I don't know because I have no idea what you just said. Just repeat what you said. Okay. Well, that's because everything can be reported on Twitter like breaking news. I mean, so one, it could be a little bit tongue in cheek. It could be a little bit sarcastic, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But also, if you're a really big King and Prince fan from when they first debuted, having all 6 of them on Twitter might be a really big deal to you. So, mhm, mhm, yeah. Um, did you say he got 1,000,000 subs? Followers, subs, whatever. Tomato, tomato. Uh-huh. Well, good for him. I guess he's popular. I heard you said, "I know you have a lot on your list," and I got nothing after that. Okay, so you want me to talk about Suzume? Uh, so the anime that movie that he's in, Suzume, is directed and written by, I think Wikipedia reverses the name, so I'm just gonna go with Shinkai Makoto. Here's the thing. This guy is known for extremely bittersweet movies. He did. I kind of feel like this probably isn't going to mean anything to you, but like he did Voice of a Distant Star. He did 5 centimeters per second. Most in 2016 he did Your Name, which was extremely popular. But you were just the other day telling me how frustrating it was when you watched that drama, I don't remember from where it was, where, like, you were hoping that something would happen and everybody would live, but, like, one of the main characters and, like, the love interest or whatever dies in the end. Like, I'm not saying necessarily anyone dies, but so many of the things that he does is, like, if you want them to end up as a happy couple, it's probably not gonna happen. Um, and then I was also noticing though, that on the way that's going to make you wanna watch it more, that Kamaki is also on the cast list, and Suzume, but also, a handful of Ghibli films, however you say it. So, what? Okay. Yeah. Like, I mentioned Your Name, he was in Your Name, he was in the movie he did right after Weathering for You. He's in Suzume. I don't remember for sure if any of these other ones were, his or not. But then he was also for Ghibli, he was in Spirited Away, he was in House Moving Castle, he was in Ari. Probably. That would make the most sense. He was in Arte, and he was in Mary and the Witch's Flower. So, I know you like him, that's why I brought it up. Uh, yeah. But yeah, the whole reason I mentioned it is I just thought I needed to warn you that, I mean, maybe this'll break the trend, but, like, so many movies. You're pretty sure you saw what? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that would. Yeah, yeah. So that would fall in line. I was gonna bring up the whole Hanakimi thing because I'm excited about the Hanakimi anime, but we mentioned that before. But for anybody that might find this that somehow doesn't already know, but is into shoujo anime and manga, Hanakimi's been out. It's got to be for at least like 30 years now. It has multiple live actions. At least two that I know of, Japanese ones, a Taiwanese one, which I've heard is the closest and is the only one I haven't actually watched, and a Korean one, and no anime, and we're finally getting an anime, and I'm so psyched because I'll finally be able to see it on TV the way it's supposed to be. I hope. So, um, and then the last thing that I have as far as just random stuff to talk about, before the new other than the new segment I kind of want to introduce, was I don't know if you mentioned this to me or not, and I forgot. Um, but did you know that there was a new Dragon Sakura on Netflix from 2022? Okay. Because I did not know that, and I saw it, and I was really excited. So, yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Okay. Okay. So you don't want to watch anything live action next week. You just want to do Suzume. Okay. 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 Um, well, I had to add one other thing before we start the show, which is it's another segment, so I wanted to get everything else out of the way first. I don't know what you just said. At the moment, Nobusu? Oh, okay. Right. I mean, I've seen the name. I don't think I really, like, registered or remembered, but I knew it had been, like, vaguely renamed. Yeah. But, like, still obviously the same thing. Mhm. I'm in shock. I can't imagine why you would see so many pictures of Iva. Oh, that's cool. Like, just for one episode or, like, permanently? Mm. Well, good for them. Oh, yeah, that makes more sense now that you mention it. Yeah, but if they work with Tokyo really regularly, it would totally make sense for them to call him Rita. Okay. Mhm. Well, I wonder if they're wanting to keep Dash going and they're, like, setting it up for them to, like, back out and permanently get Naniwa in. Okay. Sounds cute. Uh-huh. Well, if it's Naniwa, like, I mean, I guess it could be for high school. It seems like it would have to be high school or college. I have a hard time, like, I guess it's not impossible, but I have a hard time believing that it would be for middle school. Okay. Ah. Uh-huh. Sorry, I just all my focus is in trying to understand what you're saying. Okay. I hope that nobody goes and gets themselves in trouble on social media. The more people that join, the more worried I get. The last thing anybody needs is, like, these guys having, like, DMs that are inappropriate being released or something, you know? Okay, so, the new segment to delay the reason why anybody would be here of talking about whatever the main show was, is I thought it would be a little fun to take an American show and to try to think about what a good Japanese cast would look like. So this week I thought we would do Psych. I think that we were both struggling a little bit because the amount of people we know, it's a little hard. It's a little hard not to just generally typecast or whatever. But I guess typecasting is kind of part of the game when fan casting, anyways. But Rachel, you said you basically only had one person, and I think that I gave you a hint that led you to a second person, which is probably already on my list. So who was the one person that you had? Okay. Y- Wait, Toma as Sean? Oh, as Nakatsu as Sean. Okay. I can see that. Um, I actually went with Fuma. And the whole only reason I went with Fuma, even though you bring up a good point with Toma, is one, I was trying to think about who would work age wise, you know? And so I was trying to think about younger people, which is why I didn't even think about Toma. Um, And then the other reason why it obviously, if Japan was going to actually do a version of Psych, like things would feel a little different because it would have to like be molded into like something that would work more for Japan. But I was trying to think of somebody that could do that I knew that was younger that could do some of Sean's crazy antics. And you sent me that Instagram post where like there was someone that Fuma liked that walked in and Fuma just like threw himself on the floor or whatever. And that screamed to me Sean, like maybe not for that reason, but like as part of one of his psychic visions. So I went, you know what, I think Fuma could do. What? Okay, well, I'm glad I said his name. It made sense. Um, mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've really seen him act, but just because they haven't acted that way before doesn't mean they can't. Um, but yeah. Well, I feel like that's kind of similar to like Aiba. I feel like first off, Japanese comedy shows can be a little hard for me anyway, so I don't really know 100% if I could do a psych in Japan or not. It could go either way. But uh it kind of makes me feel like with Aiba, I'm constantly expecting Aiba to be in a comedy, and then he's never in a comedy, and I just don't understand. Even if the premise screams comedy, I watch it, and I'm like, why is this not funnier? I don't understand. So. Yeah. And then I have my list of people that would have been from Mischievous Kiss. So Juliet, Yahagi, Honoka, the main girl from Mischievous Kiss, I thought she seemed like she played the innocentness that she had in Mischievous Kiss, but she's a little older now, so I thought she could still maybe at this point pull off, the more seriousness that Juliet can have. And then, but also I can see her like if you think about how, especially like if she's undercover or whatever, like she gets like really involved or is easily tricked, like easily believes like Sean's psychic stuff or whatever. That kind of felt to me like it would fit. For the chief, I actually first thought about Ayasa Haruku, but I thought that maybe that would only work if she wanted to play a smaller role because she's usually much more of a leading lady. So then I thought about the mother from Mischievous Kiss, Nishimura Tomomi, and I thought that even though she was like really nice in Mischievous Kiss, I could still feel her pull off that kind of like in between nice and also I'm pissed at you all the time, if that makes sense. Like kind of getting fed up with some of the antics or whatever. Um, like, are you on board there or no or what? I have no idea what you just said. Well, if we switch to Lassie, I had either the head teacher from Gokusen, but thought he could be too old, or Matsuoka. Okay, I mean, yeah. I mean, if they were playing against Toma, that would make sense, I guess. I have a hard time. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I was still looking for someone younger. Um, the only thing with Shun is I feel like you like with Lassie you have to be able to pull off serious and yet also kind of like a goofball at the same time, which is kind of hard. And like, I feel like I've seen him be goofy in variety shows, which, I mean, I guess is similar to, like, the Fuma thing or whatever. I it's hard for me to imagine him acting goofy in a TV show. Like, even in Hanakimi, like, he played it really straight. Really, really straight, you know? But, I mean, he wouldn't be, like, the worst. He could be good. This is a difficult conversation to have because I can't hear you half the time. At the moment. No, I was not hearing you. What? Where's your regular microphone? Okay. Do you want to try your phone? Okay, well, I hate to stop and start when we haven't even gotten into the main thing, but I feel like we're already having a hard time with this. I feel like we're gonna have a really hard time talking about Yu Yu Hakusho. Do you want to try again tonight? Assuming I don't work? Okay. Comments down below. Yes. Well, that's weird. Okay. Well, I guess let's see. What were you trying to tell me? Okay. Well, then I guess. Well, yes. I mean, uh, okay. Yeah, I rewatched like somewhat recently. Fairly often. Hmm. Yeah. Right. Well, like when I'm casting Matsuoka, like age-wise, I think Shun is fine. Like the problem is that that I think that Shine should be decently, like not extremely younger, but have at least 5 years to a decade younger than Lassie. And I think he needs to seem it. Like, I think that Lassie, regardless of the actual age of the actors, needs to seem older than both Juliet and Sean and then also Gus. Gus is the one person I have no idea who to cast. There was, but I have four more things I've cast here. Okay. I have so what? I didn't forget about Gus. I just can't think of. You need think about it maybe while I'm saying these others, because you need somebody that can play off of Fuma well, and I don't know if two would play off of Fuma well. Like it needs to be the straight man to Fuma, but also really kind of dorky in and of himself. But the next person I have as Henry's Sean's dad, and I so but I then thought be better for like he usually plays a really really strict characters, but something about him I thought could be really funny if he played Woody, the coroner, who's a little weird, and so I thought that could be a fun difference for the actor. And so then I was thinking that the female lead dad from Mischievous Kiss, Tanaka Yoji, might make a good Henry. Like I feel like he would be able to do good at like the fun, but also like can be strict when needed parent, if that makes sense. And then the last person character that I cast was Buzz. So I was trying to think of somebody that was a little lengthy, maybe ought to be able to be a little cool, but was kind of dorky. And so I don't know if I'm off the mark here, but from the way you've talked, Snowman's role could play the part of Buzz. Do you have any feelings about that? And I do have one last thing cast, but it's technically not a person, so I thought we should talk about the other stuff first. Okay. I feel like I could maybe see that. Okay. Yeah. Uh huh. Well, I mean everybody I naturally think is older too. Like I really had to sit down and think about okay, who are the younger actors I know? Higashi. If Higashi was who? I feel like Higashi's too cool to be Lassie. I mean, Lassie can be pretty dorky in his own way. It's just it's in a very different way from Sean and Gus. Okay. Maybe. Well, I mean, I still like Matsuoko for Lassie personally, and th- yeah, I had either the head. Either the head teacher from Gokusen, who I feel like the head teacher is could almost be played Lassie like already. But he's a little old. And or Matsuoka, because I feel like he's already shown. I feel like even though it's different, obviously because he's not cross dressing, I feel like the show where like he was doing the dressing as a girl to be a maid thing or whatever, there's something about that where I feel like it has just the almost the right type of comedic chops to play a character like Lassie, if that makes sense. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I remember the episode. I mean, if you're casting as if you're casting someone like Toma, then those would work. Since I was looking for younger, that's why I went with the mischievous kiss girl. What? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we chose the same person for the corner. That's the only person we agree on. Yeah, Captain, I had either Ayuse Haruka if she was okay with a smaller role, but given that she's it seems like more of a leading lady type person, I went with the mom from Mischievous Kiss. If you're talking, I don't hear you. I hang on. I mean, I knew her when I put her down because I had brought her up. But let me pull up more specifically what she was in. Oh, stepmom and daughter blues. Well, for Sean, it's not just the dorky; it's the being able to act kind of crazy. Not in the way that I'm thinking about. Mhm. I don't know what you just said. I know you're talking about the captain, but I still don't know what you're saying outside of that. Oh, okay. So we have two things we agree on then. Okay. I like that too, but unfortunately she's not available anymore. Yeah. She was actually my first thought too, but I double checked and she also committed suicide. Did I lose you again? Oh, no, this might be my fault. I became my headset unplugged. So if you were saying something, I didn't hear you, but it might have been my fault this time. What? Okay, the one. Okay, hang on. Huh? Um, Takeuchi Yuko? I'm hearing some of it. Okay. I don't know who that is. No. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even remember what you're talking about, though. Are you sure I watched this? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did not. I'm fairly certain I did not watch this. I'm pretty. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch Last Cinderella either. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Well, not knowing this person, I don't have any opinion on her. Mhm. Uh, so the only, well, I don't know. Before I do my very last casting, did you have any? Did you have any preference for Buzz? Buzz is the uniform cop that there are always that's always around, and he's the one that I was trying to like give you someone to like since you're big into snowman or whatever, and I know you like Raoul. I was trying to think of someone younger once again. So based off of your description of him, I thought that he might fit. Uh huh. Okay. Uh huh. Well, again, I everything doesn't have to be exact. Um, Actually, now that I think about it, that one guy, the one guy from King and Prince that's now over at Taki's company that I said has the stupid eyes, he might fit Buzz too. I think it's whoever was the leader. Yeah. Like body type, he wouldn't pull it off. That's why I wasn't initially thinking about him, even though I don't really think the body type needs to match exactly or whatever. I don't think it's that important. But because Buzz can be kind of a doofus. And really like he's kind of easy to fool. He's constantly making dumb mistakes. He's in trouble a lot. But so I kind of feel like, but you also love him. So I thought maybe he can work. All of a sudden, I'm thinking that just now. Um, right. Yeah. The show that got show and show confused. Um, and then this is the last thing. One last thing to cast real quick. I would turn the pineapples into watermelons, and then that's it. Yeah. Because, like, they might like to pineapples in Japan. I don't know, but I don't really have that image. I don't feel like pineapple works in Japan as well as it does in California. But I feel like watermelon could be perfect. So, anyways, yes, we can finally talk about if we can actually talk to each other. I'm not convinced right now. We can finally talk about Yu Hakusho. What? Um, I think part of it might be your mic. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not. It's not entirely your mic. I'm sure some of it's just the connection, but yeah. Anyways, do you want to talk about it first, or do you want me to give just like my overall very brief impression at the like not about the episode specifically, but how I feel about the end of the series? What? At the moment? Oh, now I hear you great. I don't know what you just did. Oh my gosh. You sound so much better now. Like before it wasn't just the breaking up, but like your voice quality. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, you sound a lot better now. So, I wish we had figured this out like 20 minutes ago, but you know, whatever. Um, I guess I'll let you talk then, since you can finally actually talk and people can hear you. What was your feelings about Yu Hakusho? Mm-hmm. You like everything. This is why it's a terrible show. What do you think? I like it. Sorry, go on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It didn't really make sense. Iske? Uh, mm, right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even convinced Goro's character is dead. We didn't see him die. And this And the scroll that was put in when they were talking about someone going to hell was clearly Toguro. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I yeah. I honestly I don't remember his goals. So, at the risk of talking too much when I'm trying to give you a chance to talk, um, so part of the problem, is now so my assessment is I thought the characters were great. The characters were basically spot on. I if I'm trying to I'm trying my mind's trying to get there, Rachel, Ray. um So the thing is that I actually don't remember what his goal was in the original. Um, because if his goal was revealed, it would have been during the Dark Tournament, which I would point out, he ran the Dark Tournament being a human, and the Dark Tournament was mostly demons. So, or yokai, or however you want to refer to them as. So, I'm not entirely sure the way he operates, he would be fine because he's got enough of them working for him. But again, I don't remember whether or not he ever had this kind of goal. The closest goal that I remember about trying to merge the worlds was during the Four Kings saga, which they skipped. So maybe that was their way of trying to include it. Or maybe that was part of something going on during the Dark Tournament that I've just completely forgotten about. But uh-huh. Uh-huh. I don't think it was ever clear either way. But I don't remember for sure because anything that involved Toguro and Genki would have happened during the Dark Genkai. What it all would have happened during the Dark Tournament. So this is kind of what I was getting to before because I didn't rewatch or read that because I didn't think we'd get into the Dark Tournament stuff, which in many ways we did not. However, going kind of to my general assessment, not of the characters, which I thought were great, but of the plot, was I thought that it was good on its own, but kind of in the way that I felt about Dune 2. It was a good story, but also you ruin the stuff that leads you to the next step. So, Ogoro wasn't supposed to die. He's supposed to be a main, Genkai's not supposed to die. Like, she's supposed to be with them during the Dark Tournament. He's supposed to be somebody they fight against during the Dark Tournament. Anything that happened between the two would have happened during the Dark Tournament. And yet, for some reason, they pulled all of that in here now. So, if they wanted to do the Dark Tournament, even if Goro's character is still able to run it because he didn't actually die, I don't know where they're going with it. So, yeah. Mhm. Well, it is the sister Hiei was lying. Because he's Hiei, who knows? Maybe he thinks it'd be better for her not to know. I don't know. He never tells her in the, anime or the manga. I don't remember whether or not he lies to her and specifically says he's not her brother or just doesn't tell her that he's the brother. Like, I don't remember whether it's a lie of omission or a direct lie like it was here. Um, but, I mean, it could just be he thinks it's better for her not to know. At the end of the day, it's EA. Who knows? He just wants her to be safe, but not necessarily know who he is. So, um, yeah, I did think it was a little bit weird that he's going to deny being her brother, and then with an earshot of her, tell Kuwabara to back off. Like, he definitely would have words with Kuwabara. I'm not sure he would have words with Kuwabara right next to her. you know. Um, it was kind of nice that he admitted they're friends. I don't know if he's ever actually admitted that before. I mean, watching them all fight together was kind of cool. I don't think I've ever so many things tend to be one-on-one stuff. I don't recall if you ever actually in the show get to see them fight one-on-one. As I said, overall I like the show as the show. It's kind of like the way I felt with 2 as on its own. It's great as an adaptation. Uh, and especially with killing where you're gonna go from here. Because the only other thing I can think of for them to do would be to skip the dark tournament, which is everybody's favorite part of the show. So I don't know why you would do that. But to go to the arc that's after that, and I don't remember a lot of details for the arc after that, but kind of going to sort of what you could being what you could think is maybe being alluded to by Toguro. Even though Toguro doesn't have all this information, in his in conversation with Genki, um, in the arc after the Dark Tournament, if I remember correctly, at the end of the arc, Yusuke has pushed himself so far. Now, granted, it's in defense of his friends and blah 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 blah. All the typical shonen. He's pushed himself so far that he actually does become a demon. But in his case, the reason why is you find out that, like, I don't know how many generations back, somewhere along his line, there is a yokai, and a pretty powerful one, which then ends up leading to the next arc where I can't remember if they ever fight each other, but there's some kind of there's another like semi-tournament thing that's being done sort of in a demon realm type area where the higher up demons in that, including Yusuke's whatever distant relative, and then they like I don't know. It's been too long. I just remember like they all end up becoming representatives for these different people, and then there's sort of a fight coming on with that. But I don't remember what happens because when I watched it was when we got out of college. So it's been a really long time. And yeah, but the point is like Toguro became a demon, even though it's more in his DNA. Yusuke becomes a demon. So at least in the show and the manga. So that could be could be why they've had that conversation, what they were referring to, even if he wouldn't have actually had information. But I don't know for sure. So I don't know if they're gonna skip the Dark Tournament and go into that. But that would be pretty dumb. But I also don't know what they're gonna do. I'm so confused. Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, obviously, that could be the end of it. There could be nothing more. But just like assuming that there would be more because there's more material, you know. Um, yeah. Just kind of like Dune because I hear people talking about Doom Messiah, and I'm like, how are you gonna have Doom Messiah? Doom Messiah makes no sense with where they left off with Chani. Like nothing. I don't understand freaking anything. So yeah, same thing but different. uh, uh-huh. 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 Well, I don't think he has to say that. I think he just wants to say that. Yeah. But, I mean, it's still kind of ironic, he's like, "I'm Japanese, of course I was a fan," and yet at the same time well, I feel like at this point, it's safe to assume that almost anybody could be a fan of anime. Um, it feels like I don't know if they still would, but there is a point of time where if you assume somebody of Asian descent liked anime, they might even if they did like anime, they would be a little insulted, you just think that gives them Asian. Which, to be fair, might be true, but now we're supposed to assume that Ginyu likes anime because he's Japanese. Getting mixed messages. So, the fight scenes were fun though. The fight scenes were fun. And, and I Kurama? Well, to be fair, they were in like 90% of the last episodes, so I well, yeah, but so was the most of this. Um And usually it'll be like, and this type of thing, usually there is a lot of like one against one. So things do tend to be focused on one character at a time, whoever's tends to be fighting. Um, so One Piece did a good job at somewhat balancing that out a little bit more, I think. Mm. Dramas. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that is a lot of things where it's like, well, I mean, they could get to it. There just wasn't, I think, a reason to get to it yet. Um, but it's definitely something that we could get to. Because he does have a whole backstory about why he's a fire yokai and his sister is a ice maiden. They didn't do anything with the what? Oh, the third eye. Um, third eye was it was in part for looking for Yukina. And then, when you see it in the anime, the main time that he, uses it outside of that is, basically it freezes up Yusuke for a little while until he kind of is able to deal with it. Um, and actually he had a lot of eyes. It was a little weird. They turned green. So, I think that just with the type of fight he was doing, because he wasn't fighting humans, I don't remember if I've ever seen him use the eye or not when he's not fighting a human. Yeah. But I think the main reason he got it was to try to find Yukina in the first place. So when she's found, you know, yeah. But I could be remembering wrong. As I said, it's been a while since I've read or watched the rest, and I wasn't expecting to need to for this. What I was gonna say about the fight scene is the one of the things that I did appreciate is because I do always appreciate anything that shows Yusuke's resourcefulness over just like strength or whatever. Is I really liked when he used the spirit gun to push himself backwards into Toguro. That was pretty good. Um, so And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about when it just comes to fighting. I enjoy a good fight scene, but there's not a lot to say, so and front loading this with a bunch of other stuff, it now feels a little anticlimactic, but this is where we are. Good show. Did not feel like it disrespected the source material, which is always important. Characters pretty spot on. Some of the wigs a little weird. Plot wise, not the best for an great on its own, but not great for an adaptation. I think his might have just been extensions. I was really thinking about Kurama's being particularly bad, and then Yukina's being a little. But whether it was wig or just dye, hers looked a lot better than Kurama's. So, um, and then I didn't have any problem with Gora's hair. So, I feel like his probably either just needed to be straightened because his hair is kind of curly. They may have even just straightened it or put in some extensions. Uh huh. I mean, it would have fit Goro. I'm not sure it would have fit the character. So, okay, well, I guess we're done. Leave some comments if you happen to see this so we can talk about that next time. I would like to say same time, same place next week, but clearly we are either not succeeding on doing every week, and who completely knows about the day or time at this point, but we will do our best to try to be back here same time, same place. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.